This is Backstage Bay Area, your all-access pass to the local music scene. Now here's your host, Steve Roby.
Welcome to Backstage Bay Area. I'm Steve Roby. LabRats is a tight jazz fusion collective from Sacramento that are bringing its unique sound to the SFJAZZ Center. On today's show, we'll explore their musical origins, get the backstory on a few tracks, and hear about their upcoming shows at the Joe Henderson Lab. Joining me now is Jacob Swedlow, the drummer and band leader for LabRats. Hey, Jacob, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat.
All right. Hey, Jacob, what was the initial spark for the LabRats, and how did the group's sound take shape in those first rehearsals?
That's a really great question. So LabRats was an idea that I had about 2 years before I found the right people to help, recreate the sound in my head. It was formed right in the thick of the pandemic. I was living and working as a professional musician in Chicago before the pandemic brought me and my then girlfriend, who is now my wife, back to Sacramento, where I'm from. I was very lucky and fortunate to have traveled the world playing the drums in a lot of different contexts. Sacramento is my hometown, and I have always thought Sacramento has had a great music scene, but I felt like I have a different perspective because I've witnessed so many, how other jam sessions work and how different music scenes work, how people communicate, how people, collaborate. And I wanted to, in a way, just kind of enrich what was already happening in Sacramento. Sure. And the best way I knew how to do that was to, I guess, kind of lead by example. So I wanted to create a band that was very fluid and easy to collaborate with. And for our first few rehearsals, we had no music at all, no originals, no arrangements. We just improvised for hours and hours on end without stopping. And that way we could find out what our strengths are in a way.
Yeah.
And then create, write originals and arrangements based off of that.
Nice. Well, how did you develop the name LabRats?
Oh, we're all big hip hop heads and jazz nerds. So we just sit on the couch and just nerd out and try things on our synthesizers. And, it's just a bunch and we rehearsed in this dirty practice room and, in my garage, so yeah. It was just kind of a bunch of lab rats in the lab type of thing.
I like it. Yeah. Can you introduce the band members to the audience and tell them what instruments they play?
Yes. I'm the drummer and band leader of the group. We also have Miguel Resendez, who plays the bass synth. We're all multi-instrumentalists too, so I play the drums and vibraphone. Miguel plays bass synth and auxiliary keys. He's also a fantastic trombone player and a tuba player as well. He plays in all the brass bands in Sacramento. We have Joey Archie, who's our main keyboardist and synth player, and he is an incredible trumpet player, and he's involved in several projects as well. To round it off for the SFJAZZ show, we have Thomas Molina on trumpet and effects, and he's a very special horn player because he has this extremely elaborate pedal setup that he can recreate sounds that you've never heard a trumpet can make. And it's for the Mwandishi show, it's just the cherry on top because of all the production that went on to make these records.
Yeah,
it's just really awesome to have that element.
You play hip hop, jazz, and experimental sounds, as you just said. What ties it all together for the LabRats?
We just don't really see a difference between all these types of music. We're very aware of the fact that we play Black American music, and we try to honor, every move we make, try to honor and respect the groundwork that's laid for us to do that. And I think the more we kind of cherry pick what is valid for us to explore, I think that kind of defeats the purpose of the beauty of music, which is evolution.
Sure.
And marrying of ideas and cultures. There's just no difference with us. We approach everything the same.
Yeah, I like it. You just said that Sacramento has become part of your story. How has the local scene influenced your writing, arranging, and the way you lead from the drum chair?
That is a really good question, because I developed specifically my writing abilities in college. I went to Oberlin Conservatory, which is where I took lessons from Billy Hart Jabali, who was in Mwandishi. So I really developed my skills as a writer and band leader there. So coming back to Sacramento with all of that training, I guess Sacramento's influenced my writing in the way that I feel like I can help, like I can use my knowledge to help with what's ever happening.
Sure.
It's like mainly like a response-based writing, I guess, like responding to my environment, responding to those around me,
Yeah.
through like whatever tune I'm working on.
You sent over a few tracks to show the different sides of your sounds. First, we're going to hear Jeff Costello Shot, which you say highlights your hip-hop side.
Yeah.
What's the origin story for the song, and what vibe were you going for with this one?
We're huge fans of this movie called Le Samurai. It's kind of the movie that inspired films like Taxi Driver. It's like, just like that classic anti-hero movie. And we are working on a record actually about that. But we kind of like use heavy metaphors with everything to make the story more relatable to, about mental health and love and loss and whatnot. And so Jeff Costello Shot is an installment of the album, and it is really a song about making a really tough decision, which we all have had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the mental health turmoil that can come with that. And it's from the perspective of Jeff Costello, who just shot the owner of a jazz club in the movie, and the jazz pianist who witnesses it. And there's like a back and forth with it.
All right. This is Backstage Bay Area. We are here with Jacob Swedlow from LabRats. Let's listen to a track called Jeff Costello Shot a Man.
Not a plot thicken, showcase glistening on the ground, resembling blood diamonds. Mob ties got me in the real, not the plot thickens. My Boy Scout days, I played cowboys and Indians. Now I'm inches away from federal prison time. I feel the temperature rising, I think I'm feeling God's magnifying glass. He glared right at me, I turn around. This diva stuck staring right at me, I'm like, whoa. You playing witness, let me know. I'm feeling desperate, I might take the pistol, let it blow. But mentally you get it, don't you? Somehow I get it too. This motherfucker worth dirt with the way he treated you. But I got a jet, fuck a bull in the China shop. I'm a 747 flying under the Tower Bridge. The morals is delicate, might be the deficit. My soul ain't right, the weight of the wretchedness. See, too many gazes, I'm the suspect fleeing the scene. Ballin' my jalopy, just a pawn, not a king with a queen. Wicked pathology of gangsterism. Player isms, recycle the sinister cycle of plagiarism. It ain't a system if there ain't a victim. There ain't a victim cause we blame the victim. I ain't the victim, I just play the system. So I blame the system for plaguing me. But I'm not the victim cause within the system there can't be a victim.
On my ears playing tricks on me. I could've sworn I just heard a pistol leak. Turn the corner taken aback by what my eyes see. Trench coat, gray hat looking back at me. And I freeze, hello, Mr. Costello. Night was calm, now you're switching up the tempo. A deer in the headlights is up here inside your windows. Crescendo, crescendo, you're something inside of me telling me not to be afraid. Are you just a pawn in the game? Are you just a bird in a cage? You're looking for ways to escape. I can relate, cause I don't feel alive unless I'm feeling some pain. And I don't miss the sun unless I'm living in rain. And the only time I feel seen is when I'm on the stage. So I ain't looking to blame you with the moves you made. Cause I know this life is strange. If I could change, I would still choose gray, 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 gray. could feel your energy. I could see you just like me. I could feel your energy. I could see.
It's LabRats on Backstage Bay Area. The song is Jeff Costello Shot a Man. The next tune I'm going to play by LabRats is called Loading Screen. You said it started with as an experimental fusion-like studio improvisation. When did it click that this was a song, and what stayed from the original improv versus what you shaped later?
Miguel, our bass player, we were recording our first album, and we were really well rehearsed with all the music at that point, so we actually got through most of the album pretty easily, one or two takes a song, and we actually had like an hour and a half left from our studio session that we paid for. So we just decided to make something, and Miguel had this bass line, and then we just kind of went back to our roots a bit, just improvised together for a while, and then we're pretty good at like imagining what can go on top of stuff. So we kind of played it in a way where it's like, okay, maybe this could be a solo. Maybe this could be another event, as we're like grooving together.
Yeah.
And after we were done, we just kind of listened to it, and all right, here's a vibraphone solo and saxophone here, guitar there. And yeah. So it was really kind of just a very easy process with that song.
All right. I was curious, how do you translate those studio textures with trumpet, synth bass, spacious keys into a form that still leaves the room for risk and open sections?
I guess like how we approach the music, we try to go at it in a way where, and this took a lot of time to develop and a lot of trial and error, but there's always a balance between like what you wanting to express yourself to the fullest artistically, but also, do your job. Like, am I playing good time or am I in tune?
Yeah.
There's really a lot of work and practice that goes into something that sounds completely, free. You need to make sure that, for me at least, and this is something that, I definitely learned in college too. It's like, you have to express yourself artistically, but you can't leave out like the professionalism part of it. Like making sure that you're playing something in a way where someone else can also artistically speak over that, so we approach the music like that. And then it's kind of easy to feel like, in post, like what can go over something else.
Right. This is called Loading Screen from LabRats. And this is Backstage Bay Area. That was Loading Screen by LabRats. I'm Steve Roby, and I'm speaking with Jacob Swedlow, the group's band leader and drummer. Let's talk about your upcoming shows at SFJAZZ and the Joe Henderson Lab. Jacob, these SFJAZZ sets will include music from Herbie Hancock's 1971 fusion album, Mwandishi, including the classic piece, Ostinato, Suite for Angela. Why bring Mwandishi into the LabRats world right now, and what's your take on Ostinato? How are you making it your own?
That's a really good question. As I was saying before, I went to Oberlin Conservatory, where every single week I was around Billy Hart and Dr. Eddie Henderson. Billy Hart being the legendary drummer who was in Mwandishi, and Eddie Henderson being the legendary trumpet player in Mwandishi as well. Because of that, there was kind of like, wherever they went, there was like a ring of students around just asking questions about what was it like to be in such a innovative and groundbreaking force. There's nothing before that band. And we're like, fusion, it was like the primordial soup of fusion to that group. You know, they were still swinging, they were playing free, they were grooving, they were in odd meters. You know, it was like the whole future in one era of Herbie's career. So to me, they're one of the most important musical ensembles in general. I still talk to Billy on the phone here and there, and we still catch up, and I'll still ask him questions. And I feel very connected to the band because of my relationship with Billy. He would tell me about all the records, how they were made, and all the what they would do, all the stuff, you know, on tour. And Ostinato is a really great song. It's in a really unconventional time signature, where you can count 15 beats over the cycle, which is where we're used to, as musicians and like a lot of American music, we're used to things divisible by 2 or 4, right? 6/8, 4/4, 12/8, you know, all this stuff. So 15/8 is you know, already implies like a challenge. You have to approach the music without like muscle memory, essentially. You have to really play the piece. And I have a special connection to that song too, because in one of my lessons with Billy, he told me that he wanted to try to play something like another Herbie tune, One Finger Snap, in 15/8, which is exactly what the time signature in Ostinato.
Ah, okay.
In Herbie's mind, they wrote this song, Ostinato, which I think is really interesting. And the way we approach it, we're trying to model how a classic Mwandishi show would go. Lots of free improvisation, lots of aux percussion. We're going to try to approach the music the way that they would approach their show, but like with our language, like the way that LabRats plays it. We're not trying to necessarily copy, but we're trying to honor with what we do.
So for these SFJAZZ shows, how are you mixing your tunes with the Mwandishi material, and will the early and late sets feel different?
We are mixing actually very little of our own music into the show, where we are sneaking in a few other Herbie eras in there, just as little Easter eggs, because we're such huge fans of the entire lineage. But we're gonna play Mwandishi down and play a few other numbers that the band played frequently. Like we're gonna try. I'm not gonna spill the beans yet. You gotta go see it. Okay. But it's gonna be really, really fun and interesting.
All right.
The two sets will feel different, only because there's so much free improvisation that goes within it. Like which and the vibe can change on a dime and in a second. So each show will be very special in its own way.
Nice. Great teaser too there.
You gotta go see it.
Gotta go see both shows, right?
Yeah.
The Joe Henderson Lab is a pretty intimate room, only 100 seats, really packed together. And there's a lot going on inside and outside that room there. How does that intimate room shape your dynamics for these shows?
There's a really good quote that I'm haunted by. Great pianist Vijay Iyer, he says that the audience is the most forgotten. I'm butchering the quote. He didn't, but it's the same thing.
It's okay. Yeah.
He says the audience is the most disregarded band member. And he's like, I always listen to the audience. Like when I'm playing, I'm always listening to the audience. And because music is an event that you want to cater to people. Music needs to be a selfless thing.
Sure.
So you need to look and listen to the people who you are presenting to. We play differently when we're playing in front of a huge music festival and then when we're playing at the Joe Henderson Lab. It's just a requirement, almost. You have to do that because it's the selfless thing to do.
Yeah, and it's a great room to see music too and hear music too. The acoustics are really good, yeah. And let me remind our listeners, LabRats will perform at the SFJAZZ Center in the Joe Henderson Lab on Friday, September 12th, with shows at 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. For tickets, head over to sfjazz.org. For more information on the band, including their music and tour schedule, visit LabRats' official website, labratsband.com. There'll be links for these in the podcast show notes. Jacob, thank you so much for your time today and all the insight. And come back and see us again, okay?
Totally. Thank you for having me. It was great.
Hey, musicians, would you like to be a guest on Backstage Bay Area? Just email the host and let him know when you'll be playing in the Bay Area. The address is backstage.sfbay@gmail.com. Now, let's get back to the show.
You've been listening to Backstage Bay Area. I'm Steve Roby. Today's guest was Jacob Swedlow from the LabRats. Hear this episode, past conversations, and show notes, including ticket links wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the show.